bring up, I think,
At some point,
really?
he knows
Policy
again.
committee,
So it's like
No,
his big
for
thing
all
is
towns.
to take a shower.
or district-wise.
My granddaughter was going through a phase where I was like, all right, get out. Like, she'd be in there for like 45
They have
minutes.
these-
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah,
Oh,
they
yeah.
go through
These
those.
go
I really
with-
don't want to know. You know, but get out of the freaking shower.
And that's what they're-
Yeah, I'm a quick shower person.
Yeah, me
In and
too.
out.
We,
Some,
we already
enough
have
that I'm willing
we
to
have
do
a 2
this.
hours away tomorrow.
Oh, you do?
We're scheduling
The roads are really bad in the Plymouth area. Yeah.
Yeah, and we got some
He
roads.
said
They
the
had
first
an
time was
evacuation order.
Yeah, in Hampton. And
Yeah.
that river always floods, right, over at
didn't
Plymouth
know that.
State there.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Was they're not in school right now, thankfully, but.
Right. Oh, that's true. They're on
Yeah,
Christmas
they're on
break.
Christmas
Right.
break, Reese's home. Huh? Did you
Yeah.
fly home or did you drive
she
home?
did fly. Yeah.
She flew. That's so much easier. But she had a good first semester.
She did.
She enjoyed it.
Thank you. Yeah, she did.
Good.
She did.
Thanks, Jim.
Sure.
Here.
This one I'm sure it's all book off.
Not a lot of public tonight.
Unless I did 2-0.
No.
It's all over the place. They never go to the budget meetings. No public at all. And
Yeah. No, none at all. Last year, a
No.
couple of people would go.
do they?
Lauren used to always be there. Has he been there this year?
No?
Really?
No. And the budget's up to 11%.
I know.
It's ridiculous.
Which one?
Yeah.
The towns.
The town's
I
budget. I told you that already, didn't I? Yeah, I think
You might
I
have
did.
mentioned, I texted Ryan the other day also.
Yeah, coming up with dates.
What a great day to
I've
work.
been getting a little bit of sticker shock from our numbers, but then I
Yeah.
do
And
things
then
like
you have
that.
the
and
town.
I settle
Then, of
down.
course,
I know,
everyone's
I
taxes
know,
went
but it's
up,
like,
so they're all freaked out about that. Mine went up $600.
Yeah, ours went up like 550.
But there wasn't a townwide reevaluation in
No.
Alton this year, right?
No.
It was just
It was because of the,
people
It was a
doing
couple years ago.
work or
it was
sales.
because they voted for everything on the town.
Because
law.
everybody votes yes and doesn't really pay attention. But then they complain why their tax bill went up.
Yeah.
Because they vote yes and don't attend a meeting.
Pretty simple math.
Yeah.
I think that property values have really risen too.
But they haven't done a reevaluation on it, did they? I can't remember.
Didn't
We're,
they do it
we're all set.
a year
I mean,
ago?
We're okay.
Two-
We
I
had them,
think
thank
they
you.
almost
They
do
did
it
one
yearly now
recently,
by
and so
machine or
sometimes it
something.
takes a while, but
Yeah.
I think the home sales count towards that.
I know that in Barnstable they went up because my little Lock Lake unbuildable lot went up to 10 grand, they claimed.
She has
I
one.
couldn't sell that
You have
lot
one?
for
Yeah.
10,000, it's unbuildable.
The paper says they went down in Barnstable.
Their
No.
taxes, but their
rate
reevaluation
went
is
up.
what
That's
happened.
the value, yeah.
Originally, I mean, I
So
think
property
it's a very
values
many-
in Barnstead, I happen to know this one.
Went up.
5 years ago, the last time Barnstead was reevaluated, property values went up about 33% townwide, total equalized valuation, 33%. This time, almost exactly 67%.
Yeah, I believe that.
So Barnstead's townwide total EQV is just over $1 billion now. It's 1,049 or 50 million. Alton's is 3.5 times that.
Yeah.
And that explains the difference in rates.
Right.
Although the Barnstead rate went from in the 20s, 22, 23, something like that, down to between 14 and 15.
It did go down, yeah.
But with all those changes in value,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
believe
some
me.
people's taxes went up, some should have gone down, although those people don't seem to be talking.
Right.
But it makes sense, right? People who live closer to lakes and ponds, particularly some of them, right? In Barnstead,
Definitely
which
lakes.
body of water makes a big difference? Went up by a lot.
Right.
I paid
Well, I
less
have a
than we
Lock
did
Lake
22
unbuildable
years
lot.
ago.
That
Yeah.
doubled the evaluation. It's like, I have it for beach rights, that's why I have it.
Yeah.
But it's
mistake-
unbuildable.
It's after
So-
5:30, so I
Oh,
want to make
I'm
sure we
sorry.
get
Okay.
going. It
All
is
right.
5:32, and I'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, start with Lauren.
Lauren Ferruccio.
Rebecca Johnson?
Carol Lock.
Ann Pierce. Pam McLeod.
Tim Broder.
Matt Juzokis. John MacArthur.
Heidi Duford.
Okay, agenda review.
I make a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
I'll
Sec-
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, nope.
I second.
Any revisions? I'd just like to add a discussion of a policy committee real quick. We can just do that when we get to policies.
Okay.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of the minutes from September 11th.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from September 11th, 2023.
I'll second that.
Any discussion or revisions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Approval of minutes from the October 11th budget work session.
Make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 11th budget work session.
Second.
Any discussion or corrections?
No, sorry, I was distracted.
That's all right,
I
yeah.
see-
Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right, you have information about finance and enrollments. Any questions on those?
Did we skip public input?
We did skip public input, thank you so much. I don't like to skip public input.
She's trying to whip through this. That's
Right.
I will
that's
now
right.
open our first public input. Do we have any public input? Mr. Shea? No? Okay. Seeing none, I will close public input. And now you can look at the enrollments and the financials. Any questions for Heidi? Anything of note, Heidi?
Not right now.
Okay. Budget.
Yeah.
Budget. Okay, informational, we have some copies of district administration magazine. If anybody would like to take those home or anything, you're welcome to grab those after the meeting. Technology report. I'm just gonna skip past this because we have a pretty big agenda. And just a couple of notes that it looks like the phone system unification project across all 3 schools has been completed. And ThrillShare messaging has been completed. As well as a new door access control system. That's great. Buildings and grounds report. That looks fairly routine. Anything that you'd like me to highlight, Tim?
I don't know if it made the page in front of you, but last week there was a meeting with the architect about finishing the cafeteria and kitchen
Okay,
renovation project, so we're hoping to get that all done
okay, great.
by next summer.
Okay,
By the
excellent.
end of next summer, I should say.
Thank you, Sean. Principals report, John?
Sure. So it's been a while. So we had a very successful Veterans Day assembly here. Huge thanks to everybody that helped make it as special as it was. And once again, it was a great event to celebrate our veterans. Our trimesters 2 began at the beginning of this month. Report cards went out without a hitch. So thank you to IT for assisting with that. If you didn't catch any of our concerts over the past couple of weeks, we had some pretty stellar concerts, both here and at the high school. One of the things I did meet with the fire department on Friday, this past Friday, just the K3 concert, there were a lot of folks, and there were some questions with parking, so we brainstormed ideas, myself, Sean Asdot, and Evan Turcott, as well as Janice met, and then also with Sarah and Greg about possible options. The biggest thing is parking, so with an event like that where it's our K3 students, and it's all students are involved in it, which means all families, it's a little crowded here. And I know the tradition's been to have it here, but just with parking and for safety, we're looking at moving that up to Prospect for future years, just for safety and for parking and for people being able to access and.
It wasn't always here. They'd have it at Prospect.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They've
Okay.
had it in Prospect before when
The K3?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's began when, was it COVID, Pam, or was it before that?
I can't recall. I think we had some concerts up there, yeah, when my kids were little.
Right.
Yeah,
okay. I like
Yeah,
the band
the
and the chorus
acoustics-
concerts always up there, but the little guys one, I thought they always,
yeah, the
And I-
acoustics are better, the microphones are better. Yeah.
everything's, it's a beautiful auditorium up there.
But
so.
I want to commend the music department too. The concerts were excellent all the way around. I didn't attend the K3. I don't have a child in that age group, but I'm sure it was stupendous from what I heard. And then I went to the others and they were great. High school and middle school were wonderful.
And we're gonna do another assembly this Thursday, a little after 1:30, again for the school to just put on a little tiny performance, a kickoff before break. So that's coming up too. MTSSB, I presented that at our latest, most recent staff meeting. Obviously, we have a cohort that's been going to the trainings in Concord. We've gone to one. We have one coming up in February, and then another one up in the spring as we implement multi-tiered systems of sports, specifically with behaviors. Pyramid model met, and it's a good group. We actually were auditing what we do here, so that was pretty much the last meeting there. I wanted to end my report with just a special thanks. As you may or may not know, we had a staff member who went out on maternity. It was a very tough position to fill, which was a guidance position, a school counseling position. And we actually didn't have any applicants for it, go figure. But through some creative adjustments and flexibility of the schedule, we were able to come up with something that worked. So I just wanted to thank, for their flexibility and their devotion to our kids, Corey Hempel, Juliette Poirier, Rick McDuff, Derek Papasino, Jasmine Gray, Amanda Wood, Erin McKenzie, and Lori Eckberg, for their flexibility and willingness to assist with coverage during a maternity leave. They really did an amazing job with the kids while we got the full-time sub in place to cover those courses until January 2nd when she returns. And so she could go away and enjoy being a new mommy for the first time and not have to worry that the kids were in good hands. So these folks are to be commended, and I didn't want it to go without letting you folks know what a stellar crew we have.
Thank you to all of those teachers.
I have a quick question.
Mhm.
Joan Reese, did we hire her as a consultant? Because she retired, didn't she? I thought Joan Reese retired.
Oh, yeah, she's a consultant. Yes,
Oh, okay.
she's working here, and I believe also down at Barnstead Elementary to implement pyramid model down there as well.
She's a great resource.
Oh,
just
yeah.
didn't know we had hired her.
She's the
Okay.
best.
It's
Great.
nice having Joan to come back.
Is that for behavior or?
She's a
Preschool.
preschool teacher?
Preschool.
Yeah, so she's
Pyramid model is a system of behavioral support.
right now it's implemented pre-K and K here, and we're looking to see if we can expand it across the entire school.
Sure.
With apologies to Mr. Papasino, I just want to note that there's a letter in the packet from a parent.
I can talk. I didn't put that there, but I can talk about it.
Well, I think we read it.
Yeah, this
Which
is awesome.
is-
I just want to make sure everybody sees it. We just have such a big packet to get through. I want to.
Okay.
Um,
I have a
Move on to
response that
the-
I wrote to it. If you want to see that as well, that I just want to let you know that I did not let this day go by. On the 8th, I actually gave him my response to this parent, let the parent know that I was going to let him know, and I also gave him an apple just to commend him before leaving for the weekend, because it's nice when teachers receive a letter
Right,
of thanks from a
absolutely.
parent
yeah,
or a community
He's-
member, and he's doing a stellar job. So
yeah,
um,
it's fantastic. Thank you.
if you want it, here you go.
Oh, thank you. All right, so we have handbook update, academic honesty and integrity.
Do we need a motion on this, or was this just an FYI?
This was an
It's an
FYI because of the policy
It's
that's
consistent with your policy.
right.
Okay.
So we sent a memo to principal pointing out the exact language in the policy and asking to make sure that the handbook language is consistent with the policy you've already approved. So that's what this
Okay,
is.
cool. Matt is next, is that correct?
Yeah, sorry, I'm just looking over this real quick. I don't like zeros.
Yeah, well,
Matt, yeah,
I mean, that's a whole nother,
yeah, it really is.
What is it?
well, if you're cheating, you should get a 0, in my opinion. You don't think so? No, I'm not disagreeing with that, I just,
But then
Age
they're allowed to
appropriate.
make it up. So.
Yeah.
They're allowed to make it up.
I guess my question would be, how prevalent is it? Yeah, it's a good question. You know, I mean, I just feel like in general, the reports are pretty much sunshine and roses, so nothing ever happens, so. Yeah, so perfect. So we're perfect, right? So
I think
how could we have any cheating? I mean, come on.
if you're asking my personal opinion, I think it's really good that we have something as laid out as this and the policy that you're going to be looking at tonight.
Right, no, I wasn't
Because-
asking your personal opinion, I'm actually
Okay.
just commenting on the fact that there's really no substance. I mean, the principal's report is really just stuff that could be in the newspaper or sent home to parents. Is really, I mean, what's going on with attendance, what's going on
Right,
with
what are the
behavior.
problems? Yeah.
Right, I mean, I don't want all negatives, but I would like to have a clear picture of actually what's going on in the school. I feel like as a school board, that's the information that we need to know so that we can address. I love to hear all the positives, it's fantastic, but that's not reality. So, that's my,
Yeah, no, I agree,
Something to
100%.
discuss, yeah.
100%.
Okay.
It's hard though to discern how much of you should include, because then there's confidentiality. If there are student issues that, you know, in a small town, you're not sure if someone may know the student even though you don't name them. You have to be very, very cautious about.
yeah, I think
how
I'm
you
looking more for
present it.
generalities, like is
Generalities.
attendance better, is it worse, is our behaviors
Sure, I get that,
increasing or
right.
decreasing, you know, what.
Referrals, how many referrals?
Right, how many
are there?
referrals, how many special ed referrals are there? I would think
How many
that's,
discipline referrals are there? You know, that kind of thing. That would
Right.
definitely be more general.
right, yeah, just generalities, no specifics. I certainly would not wanna know any names, but, you know, are things relatively calm, or is there a spike in something, or, and if so, why is, you know. So, anyway.
Okay, I think we'll move on to Matt's report.
Thank you. Just a few items for your attention. Last year, I presented the data dashboard. In January, I'll be bringing that back, and we'll see that a few more times this year. Again, the data dashboard will include state assessment, STAR data, attendance rates, athletic participation, and then our core value assessments that the teachers have done. We're continuing our focus on the science of reading at the administrative level. We had another work session with an outside consultant. We're in the process of drafting basically a work plan of implementing that science of reading as part of our strategic planning process, and I'll be bringing that to the board just to keep them apprised as to what's been going on and what we're looking to do. In our latest conversation, we talked about letters training. Letters training is language essentials for teachers of reading and spelling. This is sponsored by the DOE, and we have a group from ACS and BES that will be attending, 4 people from each area. So we're excited about that. We do have people already on staff that are in the current, or have been trained or in the process of getting training in letters. And again, that's a lot of focus on the fundamentals of reading and writing instruction. Last year, you heard a lot about the ICANN statements. We've uploaded them to the website now so parents can see the ICANN statements. Again, they're designed to make the learning objectives more transparent, actionable, and accessible to students. This way, parents can take a look and see what their students should be learning throughout the school year. Our February 6th Professional Development Day has been moved to the 23rd of January. And again, our focus on that professional development will be on UDL, our cultural competency, which is our system-wide goal. And then we'll continue our work on SEL, which is the current school goal. Those will be the major focal points for that day. So that's my report in a nutshell.
Thank you. Superintendent's report?
I have two items, one listed under my report, and the other one when you get to action items on the budget and the AESPA collective bargaining tentative agreement. Under my report, I don't have a handout for you. You've had two requests from staff members to allow their non-resident children to attend Alton Central School this fall. I told you I would do some research, and I've talked to superintendents throughout the Lakes region, and it's a really mixed bag. I didn't bother giving you a chart or a graph because it's all over the place. Some districts collectively bargain this as if it's a benefit. Others just provide it to all employees, even those not covered by collective bargaining agreements. Some don't do it at all. It is a local board decision. That may not be what you want to hear. I've never been accused of being too positive. That's the way it is. This is up to you. Now, here's one interesting thing. Almost every superintendent I talked to whose district doesn't already do this said, keep me informed, let me know what you find out. We've been talking about using this as a retention strategy. So I
Sure.
think there are
That
other
makes
boards having a conversation about this for that reason, because the
Yeah.
hiring market is so difficult right now. And if you have a school that people find attractive for their own children potentially to attend, it could help attract and retain employees. If it's something you want to seriously consider, I believe you could keep it as simple. We'd have to write some policy for you, but we can do that. That's not hard. I think you could keep it as simple as looking at a report like this that you get every month, which is just the breakdown of the number of students in each grade level. And from there, average class sizes are simple. If you wanted to say something like, you've got target thresholds for K through 4 and 5 through 8, or K through 5 and 6 through 8, one or the other. If you wanted to simply make each request come to the board for a decision, and then look at those numbers and do it on a space available basis, you could do that. That's how I would recommend you do it. Let me be more clear. If you were to do it, that's how I would recommend you do it. Always come to the board, do it on a space available basis based on number of students. The most common argument against doing this, you can already anticipate, is that non-resident students' families are not paying taxes in the community, and therefore it is the case that the community is providing that education at the cost of the community. I think
And
you
some
would need to be
students are
comfortable with the
more
argument that,
expensive
yes,
than others.
we're already turning on the lights and paying the teachers and we have space. Go ahead, sorry.
However, some students are more expensive than others.
So there is law in New Hampshire that protects districts that take in students like this from other catchment areas.
Okay.
If they do cost because of special needs, for example, any additional money, those dollars can be billed back to
They
the
do get
student's
billed
district
back.
of residence.
Okay.
Yes, special
I
ed
think that
costs.
would be one of
There's
the
a separate
biggest.
law in New Hampshire that allows special ed costs to be billed back to districts of residence when a student is attending a public school in another town.
Okay,
And I
great.
can't cite the law off the top of my head. although I
No,
understand
but that would be one of my
There's a
biggest
recent RSA that says I'm
concerns.
supposed to be able to do that.
I am all for it. I do think that teachers are more likely to stay if their kids are going to school here.
Oh, yeah.
And more likely to come work here if that's a benefit in some situations.
Is this
I think we'd
for-
have to have policy around it.
Right, and
for
would it be,
teachers only or for staff, for all staff?
Oh, any staff, yeah.
Okay.
I would think so.
If you want to see policy that would back up that approach, we can have that ready for your next meeting very easily.
Okay.
Are we talking about next fall or are we talking about middle of the year?
You're the school board.
What are
I
the
don't
wishes
think-
of the family?
I don't think middle of the year is a great idea.
Well, I
Isn't-
want to
wasn't
hear
one
what
of
the
teachers
what the
already
families are
working here?
asking for.
So,
Can you present it to us as they're already?
so we have two staff members already working here who have asked the question.
Yeah.
So it obviously wasn't a condition of them coming to work here,
Right.
because they're already here. So I think,
And we've taken several months just to research it and talk about it, right?
Right, because I think they asked us in September. That was
September,
when you,
October maybe.
when you
Yeah.
presented it to us.
I guess I was thinking if a child were going to transfer districts, it would be a lot easier right at the semester mark, or we're
Or trimester.
trimesters here, yeah, yeah.
If you wanted to decide, well,
Depending
you
on
also
the
don't know
age.
what other schools are doing,
No,
Depending on the age,
no,
of
I
course.
don't,
so another school could be in quarters and we're in trimester.
yeah.
Right.
I just wouldn't want to kick the can down the road too much.
So would you bring each student to us in non-public? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would just wanna be prepared and not, jump the gun, I guess is. So when is the next, we just said in John's report that the next trimester, or the trimester had just started, so in March.
And
But
you
is
have
that a difficult
I
transition?
think that's hard on the kid.
I do too.
But it depends
I
too
think
on
it's
what
up to the
age
parents.
I was just
student
gonna
is.
say
Yeah.
that, I think it's the parents' decision if they wanna,
Well, and it depends on what the
Transfer their
I think there's a lot of factors, right?
A lot of factors, yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
depending on the situation, but.
When are we meeting
Right.
next?
Could be a behavior.
February 19th.
You'll meet right before the deliberative session, you'll have a posted meeting.
Okay.
Transact business.
Why do you
Okay.
want them out of the other school?
Right, so just to put all the cards on the table, I'm gonna just let it roll tonight.
What else is new?
So, I mean, it's a great, benefit for sure, but I also I would question why the parents want the student here. What are the circumstances? So I would just really wanna have that conversation.
Well, that's why we'd go into non-public, I'm
Right.
assuming,
Right.
and talk about the request from a parent. So-
I mean, my thought is if they have a young child, it's easier for them to take them to school.
Correct.
And they don't have to worry
Right.
about childcare after school.
Or even
Um,
extracurricular.
Well, one
But
of
I
them
think
was
one of
middle
them was an
school,
older
right?
child.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
it was like middle school,
Mhm.
right?
I think the two things you're likely to hear the most are transportation convenience, and
Yep.
we actually have what's perceived as a pretty decent elementary school here.
Yeah,
Sure.
we do.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, and maybe they wanna take advantage of certain
Well, even
athletic
after-school
programs or,
activities are
right.
easier for parents for transportation if you work in the same place your students go. I don't know. I know,
I get that.
So I would just caution, there are a lot of educators on the board, including me, but I would caution against the board making decisions on a case-by-case basis. I would look to the recommendation of administration for that piece.
right, well, I was assuming
Yeah.
we'd get a recommendation.
Yeah,
We wouldn't go in cold.
yeah. And then to me, it would just be a blanket policy, yes or no, if we had space.
Bring you an outline that includes
Okay.
these
Okay.
four, I have 4 bullets written here, I'll have it ready
Okay.
for you with the related policy.
Okay, thank you.
At your meeting prior to the deliberative session, and then if you wanna act on it that day or
Sure,
a month
Okay.
later.
sounds good.
Up to you.
Great. Okay, action items. Heidi, it looks like we have an oil bid. Okay,
Make a motion to confirm the acceptance of the oil bid with Irving Oil at the rate of $3.376.
I'll second.
and, I think we need a yes vote, is that right? Okay,
Yes.
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 yes. Next we have the proposed FY '25 budget.
So there have been some changes since we met. One of the big ones was, the prospective JMA budget. The tuition, percentage increased from last year to this year from 50.64% to 51.64%. So that increased, along with the increased budget that Prospect's bringing forward. That was the big one. Some of the shared services I needed to, updates to those. And the other big one was,
Athletic director.
we have the athletic director change from part-time to full-time. That was added in there. Oh, a new voting machine, I put that in the budget, I guess the requirements, we're gonna have to buy a new voting machine. And that's $7,000, that's what the quote is, so that was a big one. And I did get some, updated, information on, high school, special education, the transportation, so that was an increase of 57,000. There was some good, health insurance, originally had me increase 10%, and then we got the rates, and it actually was 4.5%, so that decreased almost 100,000.
Wow.
And dental insurance was the same way, I was able to decrease, have a small decrease. So that was good news. Do you have any other questions?
Just so I'm correct, we're still looking at a 6.5% increase?
6.7,
I thought it was 7.
yeah, 6.
Well, which is correct, no, I'm serious, this or this? That's just what I'm wondering. Or is it the 7.23?
Oh, I see. Yeah, so on page 51,
You know what I'm saying?
Heidi?
You've always taught me to go to the end and
Yeah, that's
look
how,
at that.
that's what I do.
Right, so that's why I'm wondering which is right.
So we have to include food service, which again, you have an offsetting revenue, it's supposed to be self-funding, so you have to keep that in mind. And also, the same thing with, the federal projects, I have to include an estimate for that. But again, that's grant funding, it's not something that you're gonna be, reimbursing. And you do have a couple, billable to other districts, which again, we're billing the other districts, which mean you're getting revenue to cover that, so that would be a wash. So your main budget is up 6.67%. All of the other stuff underneath that, you're gonna have an offsetting revenue piece.
Heidi, can you explain how to read this, like on page 3, for example? The account note says WB Mason electric pencil sharpener. And then underneath it says supplies PE, and the percent change is
It
9.
goes with the line
So,
above.
but that goes with the line above, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Isn't
okay,
that
that's,
terrible?
yeah, it is, and I thought you would, I just wanted to clarify, okay.
It's very confusing.
It is very confusing.
So, I think let's go for a motion on the budget, and then if anybody would like to discuss, we can discuss.
I make a motion, we approve the budget as presented.
I'm not seconding because I don't agree with the increase.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Well,
I'm not
It's
sure-
too
I'm
high.
not-
I'm not gonna be here, but I'm
Yeah, but
still
you
a
don't have-
taxpayer, so.
You don't have to agree with it, you can just second it and then.
I'll second
Second
it,
the motion.
I'll second it for discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all it is, you're not agreeing to
Oh.
it when you second.
Oh, I don't wanna go on record to be like,
Really, so sorry.
No, I think that, I mean, I
Way too
actually,
high.
no, I looked through it today, and there are a lot of things that I was like, wow, really? That's a lot. Like,
Right.
there's a lot of supplies in there that, as a teacher,
I missed one of the budget meetings, so I can't
yeah,
really say much. but-
I don't know, it's like little things, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, wow, 6% is a lot, but.
All right, so if I may ask a question, I know the last time, I can't find it, but there was a very large increase in regards to athletics and uniforms. Is that correct? So I know that there is some squawk going around in regards to our uniforms, for example, the basketball team. My understanding is that they're all wearing uniforms that are like size women's, large and extra large, and there aren't enough to go around, and people are complaining we look
Oh, wow.
sloppy, yada, yada, yada. I don't know if
Is
anybody
this
else has
here
heard, I
or
thought
a prospect?
here.
Okay.
I thought actually one of the parents slash coach was gonna be here to speak to that, but I guess it's just a Facebook thing.
There
No,
is
it's
a line
I
item
have
for
the phone and
uniforms.
But I'm
email.
saying nobody comes in person to speak
Oh.
about it, they just complain.
I
And
have
I do know
telephone, I have email, I
one of the
love to talk to
students-
people.
the mom did
Right.
show, one of the students is wearing like a size women's extra large jersey in 5th grade. So I'm not sure what we're doing with
So
uniforms.
I see $9,000 almost.
Yeah, I
for
know it was a high
uniforms
number.
in the budget,
Where are you
yeah.
finding it? I'm sorry, I can't
It's on
find it.
page 21.
Thank you.
I mean, everything is expensive. I also think that is,
But I don't think the basketball team got new uniforms this year.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't, so that's what I'm
Correct.
asking. Is
Oh.
this like
Yeah.
it's a large amount on the budget, so like, is that gonna be used to buy
Soccer
new
got
uniforms?
new uniforms.
I think they do a rotation through, is what
Correct.
I,
There,
right.
there's
just
a
a
cycle, so
Yeah, that's what
typically
I'm
when a
wondering.
school's a 4-year cycle, they
Right.
do all sports. Even though whoever has the issue hasn't contacted me directly, I did hear something about adult-sized basketball uniforms and was able to find out they were purchased last year, not this year.
They were?
The PO was written last year. is
Okay,
what
but
I
why are we
found
ordering?
out. Well, great question, but now we have a new person handling that this
Okay.
year. He's the one who told me about it. So it's not like we didn't buy basketball uniforms this year. We bought
Yeah,
soccer.
right.
Yeah,
Correct.
and
we bought
those
soccer
were
uniforms
more
this year.
fitting.
And those were the correct kinds of sizes
They were,
for a middle school.
yeah.
So these,
They were a lot
these-
better than the year before.
these basketball uniforms that apparently, at least some of them are not appropriately sized for a middle school, were purchased in a previous year, is what I
Yeah, I don't even think that
didn't
they,
buy this year.
I just think if we're spending this much in a budget on uniforms, all of our teams should have the right sizes and be able to wear one number and not 3 different numbers, and, cause we don't have enough to go around, and
Sounds like
Couldn't
it's
agree
being
yada, yada,
addressed,
yada.
yeah.
yeah.
Sounds like, yeah, I
Couldn't agree more.
guess I haven't noticed.
Just the little things I hear once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm glad you heard it.
well,
I
normally
said
we
the
had
basketball
enough.
game
Last
once
year
in a
we had
while.
enough. They didn't have any cuts this year, so they had more kids than anticipated.
Right,
So they're wearing the female uniform.
right. That's what I've heard, yeah.
They didn't have any cuts at all, right?
No, I think they
Yeah.
kept everybody, right?
Which is the middle school philosophy.
Which, when you have
Which
only
is
5
good.
kids
Sure.
playing, I mean, you would expect maybe like 13 kids on a team, and you have like way
They
more
have a
than that.
lot,
So they
yeah.
didn't have enough uniforms. I mean, nobody would expect
That
to
makes
have
more
such a big
sense.
team
Right. And, yeah,
when they bought the uniforms.
and it is middle school philosophy not to cut, you know, let them have a chance to play, because when they get to high school, they're gonna cut. They cut a lot of freshmen out of it, even the JV. So, just a thought.
All right, it's a big budget.
Yeah.
So if we're in discussion mode now, right? About
Mhm.
budget. So, and Rebecca, you object to the bottom line, so do you have any suggestions where you think should be cut? I
Well,
mean,
see, that's the thing, we'll be here all
Right.
night and everybody's
Right.
kind of in a
So-
rush, so.
So the question is, do you ask the administration to cut a chunk of money out, or you see what I'm saying to you? How do you wanna proceed?
I think my comment is just that it is a big increase, and I just want to kind of note it and just,
Go
I
on
don't,
record.
just, yeah, I guess
Right.
just go on record that, it's a lot, and I don't have an answer.
I know, it's hard.
It's
because
right, that's what I'm saying, Carol.
supplies have increased in price.
Everything is increased, yes,
You know,
and
salaries
it's,
have gone up with the contract.
Yeah.
That
How have
cost-
how have the budget committee meetings been? Who's
they've
been?
pretty-
I haven't been there.
Oh, I
Okay.
have. It's pretty innocuous, so they just keep going through it, and
They all
it
just
was-
vote yes, right, for the town, are you talking, or?
The warrant articles
No,
is where
I'm
people
speaking about the
disagreed.
school.
The general,
Oh, I
we
wasn't
haven't
on
done
there
the school yet.
Oh, you haven't done the school yet?
No.
Okay, this is our
I
first
thought you meant the
implementation.
town.
I don't believe we'll be invited there until January based on my most recent
Wow.
chat with the town
FCS.
administrator.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Well, they didn't have time for a meeting before Christmas. Right.
I tend to think sooner is better with that kind of thing.
Well, I didn't,
Earlier we can talk about it. the
maybe
better.
the week after Christmas we should meet. I mean, I don't know. I'm not the chairperson, obviously.
I've
I'm
reached
new to
out
this.
seeking their invitation.
I'm new to this.
So this won't
process.
be our final budget vote. It has to go to the town
It goes to the
and then
budget
public
committee,
hearing.
and there's a public hearing with the town.
Will we meet our deadlines?
You can get together with it, we'll meet our deadlines. If you wanna get together with it again, you'll need to do that before the posting deadline for the deliberative session. But we could arrange that and have it be the only thing you do at that time. I think you've seen me here and at your high school. school, lead very conservative budgeting efforts in previous years. I would not characterize this year as one of those.
Right, I feel like last year we were
We were
below
extremely
2%,
conservative.
right, yes?
We were pretty darn close to 1%.
Alright, so I'll dig
last
into
year.
this, and then if I can, I'll just send you my thoughts.
But
I think-
Rebecca, remember also that we had, those years of really high inflation, and we were well below inflation for several years in a row. So
Right.
at some point,
We have to make
that's
up.
how I see it,
I
as
do
sort
too.
of a catch-up,
So
yeah.
last-
And there's some really great things, like adding the ski transportation, like, there's things that are great, but it's just,
Right.
the 6% is,
Yeah, the ski transportation was $500.
that's nothing, I know,
Right.
but then it all,
It adds up.
And some of it's contractual from the
yep,
Some of it's-
salaries are usually the biggest item, right?
When we have a
like I said,
contract.
I think it's
Right,
just.
there's nothing we can do about that, unfortunately.
No, and I think it's just important to note that we're not just all kind of rubber stamping it and saying, yep, that sounds great. And I
Right.
think everyone is aware that it's a lot of money, and,
Right, I agree.
that's, I guess,
Well, I think everyone's cognizant that the bills went up, the
Yep.
tax bills went up, and people are stressed about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very obvious there are people on fixed incomes that are having trouble. And, Social Security, if that's all you're getting for income, it's hard to keep up with inflation.
It has been the case in both Alton and Barnstead, and I'm sorry if you don't want to hear that, but since I work
Right.
in both, my head is in what's going on in both towns, that while you on the school boards have asked us to be conservative for the last few years, and we've attempted to do so, including actually cutting the high school budget so that it would be level funded last year, both municipal budgets have not been so conservative. So I think taxpayers' experience has been with these increases that have been driven largely by the municipal sides of the budgets, not the school sides
Right.
of the budgets. So in a year like this, when we have just experienced a year with over 8% inflation, and we come in not cutting, which means going up, right,
Right.
quite a bit.
Yeah.
Because with inflation, everything goes up, and we have contractual obligations to employees, which generally represent 3/4 of a school budget anyway. Healthcare never goes down. I've never
No.
gotten that phone call. It's challenging, right, to have
Absolutely.
been the conservative party for the last few years, have taxpayers understandably concerned about tax rates, and kind of feel like we've been forced into a corner now with inflation to have a year where we just have to eat some increases. That's how I would characterize the overall budget situation across the school system here this year.
And I don't have an issue at all with, salary increases at the school or at the town. But if what I'm hearing is correct, the employees at the town are receiving much larger increases than the school, which actually has been the case for many, many, many years, but it's especially high this year,
It
so.
had to do with recruitment. They were
Yeah,
having trouble
and-
recruiting people,
Well,
therefore
has
they.
to do with a
That's-
couple of things.
Well,
I'm just saying that
I'll
that's
just-
what
I'm
the
on.
town administrator told us, is it had to do with recruitment. They had
Yeah.
to have salaries that were competitive enough to bring other people in.
and
I'd like
they're
to talk
competing
about
with,
the other piece later.
Yeah,
they're competing with online jobs and everything else now. So, so I don't have an issue with that, but I think that is, school salaries are largely contractual. We do have
and we support that.
and we have one contract, I think,
And
this
we've
year,
made an
but,
effort
but,
to make the health insurance more affordable
Mhm.
for our employees.
yes,
Right.
yep. We asked for trade-offs, for sure.
So I'm
so-
gonna make a motion to accept the budget.
But didn't we
There's already a
do that?
motion on the
Oh,
table.
sorry, you're right.
If there are
I'm
no,
moving on.
if there are no proposed, changes,
Yeah, I don't
then
have any, so,
Yeah.
we'll call for a vote.
okay.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Unanimous. Thank you.
I think we made the point.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Right.
definitely. It's
but yeah, we should grab
All right.
coffee or something.
sounds that way.
Yeah.
We have, warrant articles.
So we're proposing one capital warrant article, and in your packet, there's the, sorry.
What does it look like?
think it's this
Oh,
one.
you have to do the default budget, sorry.
Right.
Oh, the
Skipped
default
over
budget, yeah.
the default budget.
You need a
Thank you,
motion?
Tim. Yes.
I make a motion to approve the default budget for the 24-25 school year.
Second?
I think they like it if we read out the number.
Of.
Is it the 17,056,888.50, that one?
Yeah,
Good job.
Yep, second.
Thanks.
so it's $415,000 difference between the default and the proposed budget, which isn't that
whole
big.
lot,
That is not that big. It really isn't.
Which is a sign of conservative budgeting.
Right, because we have a lot of contractual, we have to include in the default budget all the contracts. We don't have a choice, so,
Okay. So all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Warrant articles, are we looking at the CIP worksheet?
Yeah, so on the
Okay.
CIP worksheet, I'm gonna, I'm
The
recommending only
table
one
that looks like this.
warrant article tonight, notwithstanding the potential for, a separate warrant article to San Bernard's, the support staff contract, but that's pending ratification, by you and by that group, so. This warrant article would support, there's a change here since you saw this sheet back in, oh boy, September. And that is, you considered moving the camera surveillance system, if we couldn't grant fund it, into next year, so that it could be done this coming summer with the passage of this warrant article. So what we did is took what used to be a $160,000 request to the boiler room purpose, reduced it by 40,
Yep.
and moved that money down because the third round of the SAFE grant program has now come and gone, and we are not going to be eligible.
Again?
No, we got a bunch of it here last year. At
Yeah,
the
we
high
got a
school, we
lot.
weren't eligible, and I believe we will get it there this year.
Oh, okay.
So we're playing a taking turns kind of a game
Yeah.
with
Right,
this.
I saw Prospect that.
But, right, but this school qualified for SAFE grant funding to do the door access system. There's one more piece of that that still hasn't been installed, and that'll be a service window in the vestibule.
that'd
So
be
that
nice.
people who are coming to drop off lunch or to pick up homework or to dismiss their kids won't have to be admitted to the lobby and have access to the whole school. They'll be able to do it through a sliding, like a bank teller window kind of a thing, through there with good glass. Good meaning bullet resistant, shatterproof glass. Sorry. So the bottom line doesn't change. It means that the number we presented to the CIP committee at 160,000 is still the same number. We could do it in one warrant article to go to the Buildings and Ground Fund for these two purposes. So that's
Boiler has its own separate fund.
Any more? Thought we changed that. We still have a boiler fund that's separate?
Yeah, I don't think that was one of the ones that was canceled.
We have it.
We have it still. Okay. Well, then we can use them both, but that means writing two articles. Right?
Well, thank you for moving the surveillance system to next year.
Of course.
I do appreciate that. I think that's very important. And if the town denies it, then
You deny it. So do we need a motion on the warrants?
Sounds like we might
We
need
need
two.
two now.
Okay.
One for the boilers and one for the camera surveillance system.
I make a motion to approve, or, right, to approve, am I approving
To
or
recommend a warrant.
to recommend a warrant?
Thank you.
Make a motion to recommend a warrant article for the boiler rooms 2 and 3 replacement repiping and controls.
Do you mind just saying the
And-
amount?
120.
It's just saying the
Say the
amount on
amount.
it.
For 120,000.
Thank you.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright.
Okay.
I make a motion to request a warrant article for the camera surveillance system for $40,000.
second.
Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Collective bargaining agreement will be non-public?
You certainly can go to non-public, and I think you'll want to, if you wanna talk about major changes, up to you, where do you wanna do it?
Doesn't matter to me.
I'd like to do it end of the meeting, if that's okay. Emergency operations plan will also be in non-public. Okay, and then we're on to policies. So, we can do these in big batches if you'd like. Unless somebody has a policy they'd like to,
Well, they're
Look
all
at-
first read, right?
yeah.
And one withdrawal.
Yeah, it's like all the first readings in one, and then we'll do the withdrawal in a different motion.
I make a motion to accept the policies ACN, BEA, BEDG, DFGA, DAF, DJ, DJB, DJE, DB, EBCC, EHAB, FA, FAA, GB, CD, IKL, JCA, JKAA, KCD for first reading.
Second.
And there was one, oh, I lost track of it.
Yeah. I
Doesn't
saw-
matter, just go
the
by the list,
DN.
not by what she said.
Yeah, it was
Yep.
DN,
DN, yeah,
letter I.
one mistake in all of those
Ah,
letters.
thank you, sorry.
Okay, any discussion on
Good job.
these policies?
No,
Okay.
it's first reading, so.
All those in favor?
Aye. I make a motion for withdrawal of policy KCD.
Second?
Any discussion?
Is this because you're adding it to something else?
So it's replaced by,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old
Okay.
policy.
That's what I figured, I just
Yeah,
wanted to
it's
ask.
just-
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you. Personnel, we have some retirements coming up.
Do you need them listed in the motion?
I don't think we have to vote on it. It says no action needed.
No action needed. Yeah,
Oh.
I'll just read their names if you want.
Okay, perfect.
So we have, putting in for retirement this year, Lori Griggs, Pam Forbes, Debbie Lane, and Michelle Bemis. All former coworkers of mine.
Been here for a long time.
Yeah,
So,
We thank them for their service.
absolutely.
absolutely. Okay, new hires, support staff. Oh, we have whatever order you want. Somebody make a motion and we'll go through.
No vote needed?
On the
Oh.
resignation.
Oh, none of them have votes needed. Okay,
That's new.
yeah.
uncertified staff.
Why
Yeah,
is
we did make a
wrestling-
decision, yeah.
I-
Didn't we vote for
And why is
some
wrestling?
coaches last time?
You have
Oh, okay,
for years,
okay.
Yeah.
uncertified staff.
Why is wrestling only 650 and the others are 1,500?
It gets, so it's, great question. 650 from each middle school, plus a stipend from the high school.
Gotcha,
To make
nice.
it equal a varsity coaching stipend,
Perfect.
like we have at the high school. And if you wanna stop by wrestling practice and see what it looks like, I think it's happening here tonight until 8:30.
Nope, thank you, Mr. Papasino. We fully support you once again. Thank you for your,
I just have, and this might be non-public, but just a question on the salary for the in-house substitute.
Mhm.
Seems quite high.
It's a easy question to answer in non-public.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Okay,
And it's, I mean, the public answer, I can just be more specific in non-public, is that, a building-based sub who has long-term substitute responsibilities, that is, anyone who's going to be in the same classroom for more than 20 days under New Hampshire law, has to be a certified
They
teacher.
have to be certified.
Our
that was
certified
gonna be
teacher
one of my
salaries are all
On the scale.
determined by a wage scale
Okay,
that's negotiated. And a salary like that would indicate somebody with a master's degree and lots of experience.
okay. That's what, wasn't sure.
That's the general answer.
Yep,
I can
thank
give
you.
you a detailed answer.
That's good, thank you.
Okay. So we are at our second public input, I think. Did I miss anything?
I think so
Okay.
too.
I'll open public input. Do you have anything for us, Mr. Shea?
As a member of the tax increases. Normally, we'd look at a 6+% school increase and say, wow, those guys are out of control. But coming from the town administration where we had an 11% increase, I can't say that with a straight face. I don't know what the public reaction is gonna be, but I can't imagine it's gonna be favorable. I'm glad that the difference between the default budget for you and your proposed budget is, I shouldn't say only, but it's $400 and some odd thousand. But the town is far more than that.
Right.
And if our budget gets voted down, we're gonna be in a real scramble. The increase in town wages has worked out as far as being able to attract additional help. We've been able to hire additional police officers. And finally, just in time, the 4 shortages we had for snowplow public works people have been filled. So there's a plus side in terms of it worked, minus side in terms of it costs. I was glad to hear Ms. Pierce's comments about looking for some bad news, because nobody wants to talk bad news, but there always is some. And it's not a pleasant subject, but probably is certainly worth some consideration. And I would encourage it, even though it is unpleasant, because it usually leads to some corrective actions, or at the very least an understanding of what's wrong. And then finally, I would be scared to death of this out-of-district attendance for students of staff members, because of the risk for having favoritism and so on be a consideration. And also from the student's point of view, I was an awful student, and if my mother or my father had been on the faculty, I would have been in. So, take consideration of that, if you would. And over and above that, thank you so much for your service, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas.
Thank you.
Thank you for
And
attending.
Mr. Shea, if I may, this is a school where many of the staff members are already related to many of the students, because it is such a small town.
And each other.
I myself worked here when until my kids were old enough that I could work somewhere else. It's very, very common here. Oh, I could hear, my office was right there, and I could hear from the cafeteria, Lander McLeod. Could have been Karen. No, it was always Lander. No.
He's always looking dirty for Lander.
I know. It's always the youngest one.
Poor guy.
Yeah, the youngest is always Riley.
Okay, I will close public input. Future agenda items, I forgot to talk about a policy committee, but I really think it would help us to have probably a district-wide policy committee if we could.
I'd be happy, I'm on the policy committee at the
High school.
JMA, so I'd be happy to.
Maybe we could turn that into a district-wide.
It would be nice if
Committee,
we could
yeah.
coordinate that so it was a district-wide.
Yeah.
I mean,
Might be 2 meetings a year.
Hey, they can be very long, okay?
Any other future agenda items?
Do we have a meeting February 19th? I thought we
Right, that's what I was
didn't
just putting in my calendar,
No, we
I'm like,
didn't meet if we had the
Remember, we've only been meeting every other
would it be more
month this
productive to
year?
have a January meeting and then not meet February 19th?
Oh, March 3rd is the deliberative?
Oh, it is?
The whole month later.
deliberative?
I thought it was
No.
the first weekend of February.
Thank you.
February
I was
3rd.
gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes,
wow,
so
because
we
the
will
town
see
is.
you on the first Saturday in February.
Right.
Yes.
And we post a board meeting prior to the deliberative session. You leave it open, or you put it in
Right.
recess, you go to the deliberative session, and then you come back, or they're on the
And
stage.
that should be my last meeting.
So, you
Oh my
can,
God.
I will not be
who's
there.
listening? We can transact business, that is a regular posted board meeting. And I think in light of some of the items that you've discussed tonight, and the schedule that you're experimenting with, we might want to.
Would it be better to have a January meeting?
I think that we can do, Heidi's looking at me, I think that we can do what we need to via phone call.
So is that a no to February 19th?
Was that a yes?
I think wait and see.
Can we see how the deliberative
Yeah.
meeting goes?
Yeah, I'm
Is
just,
that okay?
yeah.
Because sometimes we have to vote on things after the deliberative, but we can meet again after the deliberative is over.
Yeah.
I will not be at the deliberative. I'm going to put that in writing right now.
I knew that.
Yes.
May I speak out of turn for just a second? I know you're already
Sure.
through the agenda. No, what are you gonna do, say no? One item that we're going to discuss when you go to non-public, because I think it's an important part of the frame of reference for whatever decision this board makes on ratifying the proposed AESPA collective bargaining agreement, is something that I think should be in the record here tonight as well, because there's been so much talk about the operating budget, and that is this, which is a history
I have it. I threw it away.
of the last 5 years, including the current year, total aid for education from the state of New Hampshire to Alton. And you can see that the total spread over those 5 years, from fiscal '20 to fiscal '24, is from about 3.6 million to 3.76 million. So yes, it has gone up most years, but it hasn't gone up by a vast amount. The projection we have for swept revenue to Alton for next year is a $490,000 increase, almost $500,000 in additional state aid for education coming to Alton. And you can bet at the deliberative session, whatever decisions this board makes regarding collective bargaining agreements and the proposed budget, I will be talking about the additional almost $500,000 coming to Alton to offset increases in school spending. That's very significant, and I just wanted that to be in the public record before you go to non-public, where I know we're going to talk about it. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great point. Okay, so we do need to go into non-public. If somebody would like to take us in, there's the,
I make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91-A:3, I, A, and C, personnel, and I, emergency.
Second?
okay, roll call?
Yes.
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 What do we do if I sit now?
Okay,
I'll walk out.
we are in non